This episode of the Juan of Words podcast is brought to you by our friends at Comcast Houston, who we are very proud to be working with. And they recently awarded through their Comcast Rise investment fund in the community of Houston in the entrepreneur
At the price of how much?
They invested $1 million.
They sure did. To how many? To how many?
To 100 businesses. They each received $10,000. So
there's a lot that you can do with $10,000 in your business.
Yeah, and we are grateful for Comcast for their support of our small business and for the support of other small businesses. So enjoy the podcast, and thank you to our friends at Comcast.
Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Juan of Words podcast. I'm Juan Alanis.
My name is Angelica Casares.
And thank you for being here. We're excited to have you back.
We're excited
to have you back. We're excited to have listeners on an ongoing basis. And,
we're excited to have you here. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Yeah. If you've listened to any of our previous episodes and you've enjoyed them, we always encourage you to share them because that helps people know that we're out here, that we're actually doing this. Because I think a lot of times, we feel like we're in an abyss when we're like, hello. And we're doing this podcast and we know people are listening, but it's always nice to hear from you. It's always nice to hear if you have thoughts about what we talk about. And every once in a while people will come and leave us nice comments or like you've said before, not so nice comments, which we appreciate also. Which we're like, hey, thank you for listening. If you
I don't know if we appreciate them, but I do say that we appreciate that you're listening. We don't appreciate the mean comments though.
Yeah. But if you made it, I think you said in one of the episodes that you were like, if you made it that far enough to listen to us to complain, we still appreciate it. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah,
complaining is one thing, being mean is another.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're back. We're still in season 3. We're kind of rounding out our final season, the last couple of episodes of this season, and then we're going to kind of jump into the next one. But I think you had something that you wanted to talk about today, Angelica? A little bit of a list that she was like, we're going to do something a little bit different today.
Are we?
Yeah, you were encouraging me to participate in libations. You were like...
Libations? Are you libated?
I'm a little bit libated. She was like, why don't you go ahead and get a little bit libated?
And what he means is,
and when I say that, I'm saying
what he means is get a little tipsy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shout out one of our local breweries here in Houston, St. Arnold's.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but they're a local brewery, and and we support local breweries.
Yes, of course you do. St. Arnold's is definitely a good one. Yeah, it's a good place.
This is
it's a good spot. Oh God, here he goes banging up against stuff.
This is the Art Car IPA, which if you're an IPA drinker, it's a pretty good one.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Nice. Okay. So I want to have a I feel like we come on here and a lot of the times it sounds like we're just complaining or we're just kind of catching up, shooting the shit, just hey, how's it going? This is what we've been up to. This is what we've been doing. But on this episode, I wanted to maybe let's see if people are interested in getting to know us a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. I was gonna say the last episode that we uploaded, the empty nesters one, people seem to enjoy that one. A couple of people sent me a message. They were like, "That's a good topic. I like
the empty nesters one."
Yeah, they were like, "I like the conversation."
Oh, okay, well then maybe our next podcast actually would be about empty nesting.
Yeah.
About what it is like, and we're a whole month into it.
Yeah.
Of course, we have so much to say.
Yeah. We have all the experience in the world to talk about.
Yeah, of course we do. We have a whole grown adult.
We just have all the opinions in the world.
Yeah, of course we do. So on this episode, because I want people to get to know us, I printed out a inquiry of provoking questions for couples. And I figured, oh my God, I can't even talk. What is with my words? I figured that we would ask each other some of these questions there's 100 questions. We'll pick one and then ask for the other one to answer. And then we'll, I don't know, get to know us. And maybe I'll get to know more from you.
Maybe we'll get to know each other.
Get to know each other. Yeah, basically. Something like that. Okay, so here we go. So I'll go first. You know what? Let's start with... all right, we'll start with question number 2. Can you describe what your first heartbreak was like?
My first heartbreak?
Uh-huh. Do you remember?
I don't even remember. What?
I kind of remember.
You do? Well, you share.
Why would I share? It's your story.
Oh, I don't know. It's because you tell me what your first heartbreak was.
I remember you used to talk about that you were like in love with this little girl back in McCook.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah,
like, it was a little.
Then why are you so like shy to? Hello, you're joking.
Because I was like, I don't know
Let
if
loose.
no, because I was like, I don't know if that's a heartbreak. Like that's like, I don't know if that was technically a heartbreak because it was a little girl that. Her name, I don't know if I should say. I won't say her name, but like I'll say her name was Maria. I won't say her last name.
Oh my God,
because she's probably listening. No,
she does not care. She does not care. You got
no, but it was like in I guess we were all like in elementary school. Like I don't know if it was kindergarten, first grade, and there was this one little girl who had long curly hair, and it was long brown curly hair. She was a little, I think she was Mexican. I think most of us were Mexicans there. So we were in the valley. We were like in the Texas-Mexico border, and like all the little boys had their crush on the same little girl. We all liked her. We all like were like, oh, like we were all like, everybody was infatuated with her.
Okay.
And I think she like, of course she was in elementary school. She wasn't trying to like have a boyfriend.
Yeah. Doubt she knew what that meant.
No, she didn't even know what that meant. But I think I guess we were like heartbroken that she didn't really like pay attention to anybody. Mm-hmm. That she was just kind of like, oh, everybody's my friend, and everybody's like cool. And I was like, it was a little bit like, oh, okay, well, like, I guess she's not my Valentine. She's not your Valentine. She's not nobody's Valentine.
And then?
So I guess that was a little bit, I guess, first, like, I guess a heartbreak of some sort, where it was a little bit of deception. No, like, not deception, like disappointment.
Not on her part.
No, like disappointment, like where you were disappointed, where you're like, oh man, no me corresponde.
Okay. Bueno, let's move away from like the small puppy love. Let's go to like some hard stuff. Talk about your like heartbreak.
My heartbreak?
Yeah, talk to me about one of your heartbreaks.
I mean, the only heartbreak that I remember is like I was courting this one girl, and she was a young, soon to be mom, and I was like courting her.
I thought she was a mom.
No, when I met her, she was pregnant.
Oh.
And I became infatuated with her. I was in high school, and I was like a bigger, chunkier guy, and I just was like, I don't know, for some reason I got infatuated with her, and it was like we met at a church thing. Like I was supposed to be doing my what do they call it? My confirmation.
One of your what do they call them? One of your confirmations.
Yeah, no, one of the 7. We're bad Catholics.
Sacraments.
Sacraments. There you go.
Oh my God.
So one of our 7 sacraments, the confirmation. I was supposed to be doing the confirmation, and I mean, long story short, like I ended up getting kicked out of the confirmation classes and everything, along with my younger brother, who like would still tell you to this day that
it was your fault.
That it was my fault that he never got confirmed. But I was like, I really fell for this girl, and like to the point where I was like, picking her up, giving her rides, like if I have, if she needed something, I would buy it for her. Like mind you, I was like working a minimum wage job, like so I didn't really have much to give her, but I was going the extra mile, And then, she had her kid, and I would like take them out. We would go out together and this and that. So this went on for like a couple years.
This went on for a couple of years?
I don't think she was ever really interested in me. I think she just, was a young mom that was struggling. Okay. And I think she, it was easy to let me do what I wanted to do.
Oh, to lead you on.
And so I think she was leading me on. But I like, now in hindsight, when I think about it, I don't think she did it with malintention. The way that I thought about it then, because then when like what happened is like I courted her for a long time, and then one day I called her and she was like, "You can't call me anymore. I'm married." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And
I didn't know that.
That was literally it. Like it was like she just like answered the phone. She was like, "You can't call me anymore. I'm married," or something like that. And I was like, "What?" And I was heartbroken after that. I was like, man, that sucks, that.
Did you ever see her after that?
I did. Like 1 year, like, it was like probably like a decade later. Like we randomly, like saw each other. Like she walked by. I was sitting with a friend, and like a reporter friend of mine. Okay. Who we were catching up. We went to a restaurant. We were sitting down eating, and then she walked by, and we locked eyes. We made eye contact. But we didn't speak to each other.
You said nothing.
We said nothing. She saw me, I saw her, and I was just like, what is there to say at this point? 10 years later, what can you say?
I don't know.
Excuse me.
Probably.
I was just like, well, you look good. I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, you look good. I hope life's treating you well. But like, I'm like, my life's pretty good. So I'm like, okay, good to see you.
A fucking one. My life's pretty good. How's yours?
But I think that was my first like heartbreak.
Like real big heartbreak.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, she gave single mothers out there a bad name.
No, but I mean, like, I understand. Like, in the moment, I was pissed, and I was like, I thought she was using me, and maybe she was to a degree. Mm-hmm. But looking back at it now, I'm like, she was just a young mom. She was just as confused as I was.
Maybe, but I mean, well, who knows what excuses? So I can't give her any. So.
No, I mean, it's just knowing the way that she grew up and the way that I grew up, that, like, we both came from pretty much, like, we're very poor. Yeah. So, like, I saw the way that it was.
What does being poor have to do with, like, being like, hey, so we're just friends?
Because, I mean, I think she had I don't know, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, like, back then, what I'm saying is, like, in my mind, what I want to come off at is, like, is saying that, like, back then I was pissed off at her. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, well, no, like, I see that it wasn't necessarily about me. Like, I was just like a casualty of her situation. And I think that it would have been unfair for me to still be mad about it now.
Yeah, I have to be honest, it would be. So, do you want to select the question to ask me, or what do you think? Here, yeah, I'll give you. There's this page right here, and then there's a back page. There's 100 questions.
All right. Okay, what's something that you used to believe about relationships but no longer do?
That they were hard work.
You didn't believe it?
No. No, I used to believe that relationships are hard work. That if they didn't work, it's because you didn't make it work. I used to falsely think that, and I've told you this before, when it comes to any relationship, it shouldn't, yes, there's always work to be put into a relationship, right? But that includes things like, don't read my questions yet. You look at you trying to read all the questions, trying to see how you're going to answer them. I'm going to put this over here. So what I mean to say by that is, like, you putting in the work, such as giving time, making an effort, being nice, being kind, being gentle, being forthcoming with words, communicating, all that is work, right? That's what I'm talking about, work. That should be for everybody. You should do your best to be your best. But that gets convoluted into the situation where you think it's just hard all the time. You think a relationship is hard work because y'all are fighting and arguing, and y'all are trying to stay together, and you're trying to do this. Like, that's not true. Like, it doesn't have to be arguments all the time. It doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be that. So I think sometimes hard relationships, it's not like a thing. I used to believe that. I used to believe that you had to, like, give up a lot to be in something.
And you don't think that's true now?
No. No. I mean, if you're a shitty person in the relationship, then maybe I question if you should be in a relationship.
But I think like a relationship is hard work, no? Not necessarily that it's like.
I'm answering this question, sir. I did not ask you. You asked me.
No, I'm just saying, like, not necessarily that it's not hard work, but, like, I guess that it's not. It doesn't have to be, like, difficult. I guess is kind of what I'm interpreting from what you're saying.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's hard. It's difficult to sit there and do all of that. No, yeah. So it shouldn't. Like you said something about it being difficult. No, not difficult. It shouldn't be hard. A relationship should never be hard. Like, then there's a problem in the actual relationship. There's a problem in the fundamental of the actual relationship.
Well, that's what I mean, though.
If it's hard, more than difficult. If it's hard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not hard, but that it's hard work. Not hard. There's a difference. I think hard and hard work.
Correct.
Is different, and I think, like, it is a relation. I do believe a relationship is hard work, but I don't think it has to be hard.
Correct. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it is. It's work. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's work, but it's not gonna, like, it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be consumed by your only relationship. It should your relationship not consume your entire life.
Yeah.
Then that's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like detrimental to you.
Yeah, sort of kind of thing. Okay. So,
I feel like you already had a chance to look at these questions.
no, I haven't. I swear to God, I haven't. I just printed them out, and I was like, oh, we'll go in it. Let's see. What do you think is your best quality? That's a good one.
My best quality? Like how?
Juan, it's an open-ended question. What do you think is your best quality?
Gosh.
What?
Nothing. I was like how, like.
Every episode you do innuendos, and I don't like it.
No, I'm not doing an innuendo right
Okay.
now. You're the one like going there. I'm not
So why are you
saying
laughing
that.
like that?
No, because I was just thinking I was gonna make a joke, but then like you started going innuendo, and I wasn't.
Because you
saying
were
that.
trying to say something.
No, I wasn't saying that. No, but I guess my best quality, like, I guess that I guess if I'm being serious, like I would say that I'm very like persistent. That I'm very like.
That's a good quality.
I think it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
I think it is. I think persistence is a good quality because it's like especially like, oh, let me not go on that soapbox, but like, I think sometimes when you're like, when there are a lot of obstacles in front of you, if you're not willing to like, push through, even when you're being told no, even when you're like, when things aren't working out the way you want them to be, then like it's easy to say, oh, you know what, the odds are just stacked against me, or you know what, it's just not in my destiny to do this, or
You're not quick to give up.
or I'm not, it's not, I can't do this. Like I don't know what it is about me. Like I like, even if I do give up, for a moment, I will like, then I come back and I'm like, well, no, okay, I had my moment of like weakness. Now let me try to figure this out. Let me try to figure out is there a way around this? Like, how else can I do this? Who can help me do this? Like, how can I figure this out? Like, I take things on as a challenge, and I think like it's like it's paid off a lot for me to just be like terco and just be like.
What does terco mean?
Persistent. To me, it means persistent. Like when you're like,
For me, terco is hard-headed.
yeah, kind of like hard-headed and like that. Where like, things have like, there's been things that I thought, oh, like an example, like I applied for a fellowship when I was young to be a journalist. And it was this big thing. It was all hyped up. I met with all these people. Like I thought it was a great opportunity. It didn't pan out for me. Like I wasn't the right fit for that.
Okay.
But I could have easily been like, oh, you know what? It's not for me to be a journalist. But I was like, no, you know what? I think there's a way for me to do this. Like, just because I'm not a fellow doesn't mean that I can't be a journalist. And so I was like, let me I figured out a way around it. And so I think when I think about my life,
What did you do around it?
like I met one of the editors who worked for one of the smaller sections, and I started out selling my stories like $50 a story. If you know what goes into writing a story, like $50 is like nothing. But what I did is like I met one editor, and then he introduced me to a bunch of other editors, and then I started selling to all the other editors at the same rate. And then I made enough money to where I could replace my regular income. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me do this full time. And then from that, then I met other editors who were like, oh, you know what? I'll pay you $400 a story.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. You think about it now, that's not really that much either. But it was a big jump from $50 to $400 was a big jump. And I still was like, I wasn't like, oh, you know what, now I'm making $400, that's all I'm going to do. I was like, no, I'm still going to do the 50 and I'm going to do the 400 and I'm like for other stuff to do. And
To make money.
To make money. And I think that's just like, at the same time, I think I was delivering tacos for my mom's taco truck and stuff like that. So I was like,
oh, that's pretty cool.
I was like, that's just always been me. Like,
What is this? What is this motion, Juan? What is this hand motion?
It's like, I don't know. It's like
hustling?
juggling things. Like, I'm like, okay, I got this going, but I got this going, and I got that going, and I got that going. And that's just me. Like, I think that's one of my qualities that I like, that I'm persistent. And, you know, I was persistent with you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who lost at that one? I'm just kidding.
Cabrona.
You back up on your bullshit, don't belong to me. You acting all sleazy, I don't like what I see. I got all the game, don't get fucked in your brain. I can do you worse than you ever did me first.
My name is Angelica Casares.
And I'm Juan Alanis.
So if you're out here and you've left us a rating, Juan, you just told me right now we had a rating, right?
Yeah, I was saying that I was saying that people have a lot of opinions about our podcast and our
I don't know if they have it. Like, they're not talking about us. They don't have a lot of opinions, but they've left us a review.
No, I say that jokingly because we've gotten a few comments here and there.
Okay. So we're encouraging people to come leave us a rating and a review.
So
you're right.
One thing about us is that we are pretty thick-skinned. At least I consider myself to be pretty thick-skinned.
You are.
So
don't be mean to me.
So, we take everything. We take all the feedback that you give us, and we really appreciate it because we feel like this is a learning experience for us as we're kind of learning to do this more and more. And, where we started a year ago is not where we are now, but who knows where we're going to be in a year from now if we're still doing this.
Yeah.
But
we're enjoying it.
We wanted to take a moment while you're listening to this podcast to just say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us, and to remind you to share this podcast and any other podcast that you might have enjoyed with your friends and family, and to let you know that we're on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, all the good places that you can go and listen to podcasts. But you can find all our links at juanofwords.com and on all our social media accounts.
Back up on my piece shit, I don't care if you don't like it. I'm really different, don't gotta show you I'm like that.
Would you rather be loved, respected, or admired?
Would I rather be loved, respected, or admired? Well, admired, I don't know if I want to be admired. So I would have to go with probably respected.
Not loved?
Because it can be deception.
Sorry.
I feel like you can deceive.
Love?
Yeah, you can deceive people into believing that you're being loved.
And why not admired?
I feel like admired, it's, I don't know, because because you can be admired and not respected. You know what I mean? Like.
And what is it? And you think respected is like above all those things, or what?
If anything, if you're not gonna love me, the least you can do is respect me. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not admired, like I said, admired, I feel like it's just something that you put up on like the wall, and it's like there to look at, there to see, there to admire. You know what I mean? There to like
on a pedestal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't mind being up on a pedestal. I definitely don't mind being up on a pedestal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the admiration of being like, you know what I mean, from you or like anybody. I don't mind it, but it's not something that I want to acquire. I definitely don't seek it. I don't like, it's not something that I'm like, yeah, like I want them to see me like at my highest quality, at my most, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'd rather be respected. Love can be like, love comes in and out sometimes at different at different degrees. So you never know, and then some people fall out of love. But I would like at least be respected. Like, if you aren't gonna love me, how they enough respect me? Be like, hey, look, I'm not in love with you, and I'll give you the option if you want to be with me or not. Then it's up to me. You know, you know what I mean? Being loved can, like I said, how many times have we been in love and disrespected each other? It's not fun.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What would you pick if it was one for you?
I guess my instinct is to be loved.
To be loved?
Because I feel with love comes respect.
Not really.
I think so. Like, I think if somebody really loves you, they respect you.
You would hope they would respect you.
But I feel like, in order, like, if you don't have respect, then how can there be love? To me, like, I feel like there's then it's like, wait, if you say you love me but you don't respect me, how can you love me?
Here's the thing. You know how some people say, like, I love you so much, I can let you go. I can love you from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine and all great and dandy, but I can love you from afar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so how intimate really is that? To be loved from afar?
I don't know. I think because there's things that you, like, you can love somebody and you cannot respect them. Like, you can love somebody.
Correct. That's what I said. You can love somebody and not respect them. So I'd rather be respected than loved.
Yeah. But to me, like, I feel like love is such a stronger feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like that just, like, I gravitate more towards that. Like,
Towards being loved.
Towards being loved.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if I'm loved, then I have more of a chance of being, like,
respected,
considered, you know, and, like, not thrown to the wayside,
mm-hmm.
and you know, not forgotten about. And I think at the end of the day, as human beings, like,
I see where you're going.
At the end of the day, as human beings, like,
you don't want to be forgotten.
You want people to care about you.
Yeah.
You want to feel like people care about you. And I think if you feel like nobody loves you, like, that's a
mm-hmm.
hard place to be.
Somebody said this one time, and this lasts with me forever, that as time goes on, we all die, and eventually we're all forgotten.
Mm.
So while you're here, would you like to be loved or respected and treated well while you're here?
I would like to be loved, because I want to love people while I'm here.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I want to love people.
I don't want people to remember, I don't want people to remember me like, oh, he was so respectful. I want people to remember me like, no, he really showed you that he loved you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
He really showed you that he cared about you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to think like, oh, he was so respectful of me.
Uh-huh. He loved me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe I think like that too, but which is why I hold my relationships close. I'm trying to be more, like, open and susceptible to, like, harm and hurt by others when I, opening myself more to a lot more people. Stop reading the question. Damn it, Juan. There you go again. And more susceptible to, like, being hurt or harmed, my feelings more so than anything when I open myself back up again to people, you know what I mean, to friendships and to relationships and forever friendships and bonds and things like that. So I'm opening myself up to that, and I'm hoping that I can gain their respect. I don't know if they're gonna love me, but I hope to gain their respect.
You know what I wonder is, like, I don't put myself out there like that the way you do. So I feel like, I wonder if that has anything to do with it, because I don't put myself out there, like, to, you know, like, I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that you do, but you definitely, like, show your feelings much more than I do.
I try.
And so I feel like maybe because I don't put my feelings wear my feelings out there, like, it maybe for me it's easier to be like, yeah, well, love is, like, what I would gravitate towards, because I feel like I'm protective of myself in a way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I only show so much.
Yeah.
And so maybe that has something to do with the answers that we're giving.
No, I think it does. It probably has to do with our time in our life right now, where we're at, and why we're answering the way we're answering.
It's like my mom said, todo tiene su tiempo. Like, everything has its time. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I have a question. What's your definition of romance?
My definition of romance? I think it's like, to me, like, romance is
dead.
No, I think to me romance is like when somebody really shows you that they appreciate you, like they appreciate being with you. Like when somebody shows you like the little gestures, like the little like moments, like it's the like the caresses, the kisses, like, you know, the moments that you have together, like, you know, you wake up and you're just laying in bed together, you're like, you know, that.
You think that's romance?
To me it is. Like I enjoy that. Like to me that's what I enjoy. Like the little moments like that. Like doing something spontaneous and crazy together. Like, I don't know. To me, that's what I consider romance. Is like when somebody like gives you their undivided attention when it's all on you and it's just you and them, and that's it.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like I consider that romance. Like I don't like going to a beautiful destination, like having a going to a nice romantic dinner that's gonna cost you a pretty penny. Yeah, that can be romantic too. Like going to dance together. But to me, it's like the little things, like just rub my back, like
Rub my back, scratch my head,
scratch my head. Yeah, like caress my neck right here. Like I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You like to be how do you say that? I can't pronounce it. How do you say it right now?
Papachado. Not empachado, papachado. Apapachado.
Apapachada. There you go. Okay.
Not empachado.
So let me fire off some. Give me that. Give me that. This is annoying at this point.
Are you cutting me off?
You're bigger. Yes, I am. Okay. So let me ask you this. Okay. Who is more trusting, you or me?
Who's more trusting?
Really?
I don't know. I feel like we're the same.
Okay. Who's more inclined to be jealous, you or me?
Me.
Yeah, I agree. Unnecessarily sometimes. I'm like, what?
That's the Mexicano in me. I gotta like.
I'm like, why?
¿Qué chingados? ¿Qué?
No, that's not it. That's not it either. You're not confrontational like that.
No, I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying like in your mind, that's like what you think. Like what? Go.
Who, me?
No, me.
Oh, okay.
Like when you get like jealous and stuff. What? Like that's the Mexicano comes out on you. Like the machista comes out on you. You're like, wait, what's going on?
I wish it was like that where you're like, what? Like you were like that. You're like, oh, and I swear that's all I hear. Bunch of grunts. What are you talking about? Who, where, what, why? Leave me alone. In regards to who's more trusting, you or me, I think depends on the subject. Depends on the subject matter. Depends on what we're talking about. One of us is more trusting than the other.
Maybe.
And different issues, I think so. All right. Let me see. Do you have a bucket list? Like a to-do bucket list?
Not really. Like, but I do have things in my mind that I'm like.
That you want to achieve?
I would like to experience this. It's not so much achieve for me. It's more like I want to experience. Like not so much like, oh, I want to be this. I want to like win this prize, or I want to like do this, or like It's more like I want to experience what it is to do this. I want to experience what it is to go there. I want to experience what it is to, feel that. Like it's more like experience.
More like experience. Like me too. I think I want to know what it feels like to like jump like free fall. So like bungee jumping or something.
What would you do with your life if you suddenly became a billionaire?
What would I do with my life if I suddenly became a billionaire? Why is that difficult to answer?
I don't know.
What would you do if you suddenly became a billionaire?
No, that's not me. It's you.
I would probably get my immediate family the hell out of where we're all at to begin with. And then, I don't know, probably like some...
Come on, you gotta have a little bit more.
Yeah, I do. I think I'd be like some kind of philanthropist, start giving shit away.
Give it away.
Yeah, start giving. If you're a billionaire, yeah, give it some.
No.
Hell yeah! Like, what are you gonna do with that goddamn much money?
First, I go travel all the way wherever the hell I wanted to. I go buy everything I've ever wanted to buy. I buy myself a big ass house. I buy myself a nice car, a couple of nice cars.
Time, Juan. What I would want is time. I would want like more time with my family. I would like, all right, everybody has a year off. We're all gonna spend time.
But the thing is, you can't do that because like it's like. You think people are gonna take it a certain way, but like you could be doing them a
disservice?
a disservice rather than helping them.
No, but I mean, you would be like, oh, everybody, I'm going to pay you for the year, and y'all just going to, like, hang out, and we're going to get to know each other.
We're going to pay you for a year to, like, mess around and do whatever the hell you want.
Do whatever you want. Go to, like, no, I'm going to pay for your
Can you imagine how much trouble people would get in?
No, I'd go to, if you get a year off, you got to go to therapy. Like, I'd be, like, fucking honed down on shit and be like, this is what I think everybody needs.
No, see, I would like take care. I would like to take care of the people that matter to me, but I wouldn't want to like give them more than what they needed, because I feel like that would be a disservice.
You got $1 billion and you have way more than you need. And I'm not saying like go and give them everything. What I'm saying is I think I'd offer them like this stuff that, like, okay, you want to go to school, done. You need therapy, done. You this is what you need, and this can only be allotted to you for like this amount of time.
But see,
So
I
like
wouldn't
that
want to
we
be
can spend
like
time together.
I wouldn't want to have that problem either, where everybody would come to me and tell me their problems. Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, I would want to enjoy my life. I would want to help, like, yeah, like things like school, like, yeah, I'll pay for your school, like things like that. Like, I'll pay for your house, like, I'll pay for your car, like, so you don't have any debt. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, like, I wouldn't be like, okay, you get $1 million, you get $1 million, you get $1 million. I'd be like, no, like,
that's not what I'm saying. I don't think I would even give myself $1 million. Like, I think I would like slowly like go into like, oh, this is what I would do, this is what I do, because I would take my time.
But what I would like to do is like be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna fly everybody out. We're gonna go for like 2 weeks. We're gonna go and we're gonna hang out in like Europe, or we're gonna go to Mexico for a month, and we're gonna go to like and I would want to sponsor like big ass trips for everybody, not where like everything's covered. Like, you don't have to worry about nothing. The food, the hotel, everything's gonna be covered. You just come.
See, but that's my ideal thing, is to like you said, sponsored something like that, but nothing into like, me, it would be like in the middle of nowhere, where there's like beautiful like spring water and like a nice pool, a big house in the middle of like, I don't know, Montana or something, or like in the middle of somewhere where it's nice and beautiful, where we can like really enjoy time together, do activities together. You know what I mean? Where we'd have people come in and nobody has to worry about cooking, where we're just really enjoying our time with each other, to really get to know each other, where we don't have to worry about the small little things of like who's cooking, who's this, who's that. Oh, did you bring this? Do we have money for this? Do we have money for that?
Well, my thing is not like that. It's not that I want to be greedy with and be like, oh, I just want to keep all the money to myself. But I know that like I don't even know if I can handle being a millionaire. So I wouldn't want
a billionaire.
I wouldn't want to put that on other people, to be like, here's $1 million, and now like let's see what you're gonna do with your life, like, and like crash and burn or whatever. Like, I wouldn't want to put that on other people. So I would be like, you know what, like, I will have a manager. If you have issues, you have problems, you talk to my manager.
No, but think about
and like the administrator of my like whatever you call it, my estate. And they'll come to me and they'll tell me, like, so I don't have to be moderated and everything.
Okay,
but at the same time, I would be like, you know what?
Think of this one.
But as at the same time, I would be like, you know what? Things that are essential, yes, like those things will be taken care of for you.
But, so think about it, right? Think about it. If the medium like salary of somebody that that we know, right? If it's like 60, 70 a year, and you can say, okay, you know what? It's going to be paid to you 60, 70 a year throughout the next 3 years. And you get to decide what you use your money on. You get to decide what you do with it. But now you have the free time and you have the money.
But people
what do you do?
But people do crazy stuff even with less.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, it's not the amount. It's like, can that person handle it? If it's somebody that I think like, oh yeah, they're responsible, I think they can handle it.
Yeah, but you give them that option of like, oh, you get a coach, you get a money manager, you get a financial manager, you get this, you get therapy.
What is that saying though? You can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to know that you at least gave them a fair shot?
But I would give them a fair shot. I'd be like, okay, I'll pay for your house, I'll pay for your car, I'll pay for your, like, now you have money, now you have like a little bit of like, you can make good decisions for yourself now.
But then with this money,
if you get into a real bind, like there's an illness, there's like a tragedy, like hit me up. Mm-hmm. But I'm not just gonna hand out money. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what I would do. And then I would.
We didn't even got money, so what do we talk? What do we know?
I would focus on like you said, like I would start a foundation. I would try to like really focus on like helping like my community. And that's what I would focus on.
You know what? Probably more than half of my money, if I was a billionaire, half and more than my money would go to like fucking philanthropy shit.
Yeah, Mexican American philanthropy shit.
No, philanthropy shit.
Let's see.
Women's.
Let's see. I just saw a good one and I can't find it. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
What historical era would you most and least want to go to? Can I have my beer back for this?
Why?
Because I want to hear your answer.
What historical?
Which historical era would you go back to? Would you most and least want to go to?
The least for sure, around my teenage years. I think they
That's
fucked
not a
us.
historical era.
It is. The 90s was a historical era. Back to my childhood. That's where the fuck I would not want to go. Fuck that time.
What? The 90s were a great time. Why wouldn't you want to go back there?
Fuck that, man. We were all no.
The
shit
90s
we know
were
now-
great. I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
shit we know now and what we didn't know then. Like they fucked all the fucking 90s kids. All
But we
this
got
like
the best of both worlds.
No, we
Like, we got
didn't.
the best of the
Everybody-
old world
everybody
and,
who was,
and
like-
of the new world.
all these kids who were like in their teens smoking and they would get like put in jail and these tickets and all this stuff and now they're like legalizing this shit. And all these people with these fucking records like running around couldn't do much with it because now they're running around with the fucking like permanent like you know what I mean with records. Like they fucked us over, man. Fuck that.
I know, but but think of that. Like we grew up in the age where like
I'm talking like I got a
We're
fucking
like-
record. I never smoked weed either. I'm just saying that it messed up a lot of people like in my era.
yeah. No, I mean it was unfair that a lot of people like ended up getting in trouble and going to
stupid
jail
shit.
and like doing all kinds of stuff
For
and,
stupid
like,
shit.
things that were unnecessary.
You know when the whole like what is it called? Pulling people over based on like if you thought they were racial profiling like was a thing in the fucking 90s. That's when it was fucking created. Racial profiling. How many times did we get fucking racial profiled for no fucking reason? Like as a teen, they like you see 4 girls walking up, they like run like police cops are and they're like, what are you doing? We're walking. No fucking we're home. It's fucking 4 o'clock. Leave us alone.
Like how many cop cars didn't follow us around? Like see little Hispanic boys in the car and started following your ass around.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
like
There was a bunch of race profiling. Yeah.
Like following you, like never stopping you, just trying to scare
Yeah. Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But we didn't know like the shit that we know now. Like we don't know our fucking rights. We don't know like stuff. You know what I mean?
But think about the good part was that we grew up like in an era where it was still like we still had things that were like old school, and we still had like, and then we graduated into like the era of technology.
Yeah.
So I feel like we kind of had the best of both worlds.
If the future is anything like it is today, I'm scared as hell for the future. The one that I would like to visit just to see how it was, is during one of the world wars.
The world wars.
Yeah.
What the hell? What kind of a...
I know. Just visit. Definitely not stay.
I definitely thought you were gonna say like the Victorian Age.
Oh my God, yes, I love that. But I think everybody. I think it's known information that that everybody was just kind of fucked back then because it was just a poor society and like no plumbing, none of that. So
Where I would want to go was like when America was first being discovered.
why?
I don't know. I just think like I can't imagine like what it would be to like come into like come in like to discover a whole land and then for it to be inhabitable and for you to be the first people like moving in.
Imagine how beautiful it was.
Like not that obviously you weren't the first people living there, but you're the first people to like from your country to move into that area. Like I just can't imagine like what it was like to like be here in this area that we're at and be like the first settlers. Like like not the first settlers because they were Native Americans, but like be the first ones to come in and like think like, oh wow, this is a new area.
Like my thing would be like a big boom, like during the time that they were like building buildings right in New York or something, like in New York in like the 1940s.
Like remember when we went to San Diego?
Like the 1930s or something.
Remember when we went to San Diego and they said like the Gaslight District?
Oh yeah.
That somebody bought it for like pennies on the dollar or something like that.
$5
like super
per
cheap.
acre. $5 an acre.
And then they turned it into everything it is today.
Yeah.
I was trying
Most
to
of San
picture when they
Diego.
were saying that. I was trying to picture like what was that like? Like, how could that be? Like, what would that person, like, what did they see when they got here? Like, that made them think, like, this is worth this money.
Yeah. Well, for sure, back in those times, there were a lot more poor people than there were, like, medium household incomes and rich people. So there was just poor upon poor. There was no, like, medium where people were, like, we talk about living wages. There was definitely no living wages back then.
Yeah. So I was just like, no, like, that's an era that I would like to see. Like, I don't know that I would want to live there, but I wouldn't mind being there for a few months and being, like, seeing what it was like to live there.
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Why?
Because I've seen them.
Lies.
I have. I've seen them. No, I do believe in ghosts. Like, I think my family on both my mom and my dad's side, they believed in ghosts, and they've seen ghosts, and I've seen ghosts, and I think I just believe in them. Like, I think I do. I think that, like, when you leave this world, like, that you can come back, and that you can, like, visit people that you care about.
Okay, well, do you believe in reincarnation?
I do. I don't know why.
So if you believe in ghosts, how do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't know. I just do. I just feel like sometimes...
I feel like that's contradicting.
That's why I don't know. Like, I feel like I believe in Catholicism. And
Catholicism.
Catholicism. And I do feel like catechism is like the classes you take. Catholicism.
Catholicism.
There you go. Catholicism.
I was like, Catholicism? Catholicism?
Like, I grew
what
up...
did you call it?
Catholicism.
I was like, no, I don't think that. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean,
I
I grew up as Catholic, and that if I were to point to any religion, that is the religion that I believe in. But I think that, like, even in Catholicism, like, you believe in saints and you believe in things like that. So I feel like that's not too far off from ghosts.
Not believe in saints, but you believe there were people who did better and who were saint.
Yeah.
Has sainted. Yeah.
And to me, like, reincarnation is just like, to me, and this is not based on any, like, beliefs. This is just my own, like, crazy thoughts. Like, to me, like, reincarnation, I feel like it's like if you have unfinished business, that you can be reincarnated. And that if you, like, that sometimes the spirit of somebody that you knew before can be in your existence today, and you can feel connected to them in some way. And it doesn't. And I feel like it doesn't have to be a human being. It could be like an animal.
Me and Eric were talking about, like, time warp. How time isn't linear. That it can be warped. And then we started talking about it a little bit, and he's like, "Mom, let's not talk about it because it's to wrap my hand around that. It's just too much." I was like, "Yeah, it does. It feels scary, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, it does." Yeah. So anyway,
when I was younger, I used to think, like, that stuff would scare me, like, to think about ghosts and like to think about, like, supernatural, or to think about, like, things like that. But, like, now I feel like it doesn't scare me. Like, I feel like it's just like, I mean, obviously, like, if a ghost came up on me, like, it would be scary, but but, like, it doesn't scare me to think, like, that somebody that I know could be a ghost.
Yeah. I think I don't believe in ghosts. I believe, like what Edgar said, I believe there's continual time that might be like ghost, but it's not ghost.